Welcome back to the I Don't Want a Divorce podcast. We are passionate about helping spouses in crisis and helping persons fully recover from divorce, which is a major league trauma. You know that if you're going through it or if you've been through it. We also empower those spouses living with a narcissist, and we enjoy making fun of narcissists. Hey, I'm just going to say that. Takes away their power, takes away their control. Narcissism is our focus today because today I reveal the winners of our recent contest. You might be married to a narcissist if contest. Now, before I present the winning entries, I want you to know that whatever your marital crisis is, I have a book for it. I guarantee you. And with my phone advice service, you can talk to me about your crisis and I'll give you a clear plan of action. I'm talking to people all over the country. Even I have talked to people in Australia and other places. Canada. Look, Canada's a foreign country, practically. Anyway, so it doesn't matter where you live. If you got a phone, you can reach Dr. Clarke. We can set it up via email. We schedule it, and then once we schedule it with the time zones and all that's taken care of, and then you call in 2 minutes early. This is it works like clockwork. I get your credit card information, I run it, and we talk for 45. It can make a big difference. A lot of folks speaking of narcissism, they want to make sure, I want to make sure that I'm doing the right thing and God's way, and that's my concern too. I want to make sure it's abusive. I want to make sure it's a narcissist. So, because the tough love approach, I wouldn't recommend for everybody. If it's a basic marriage problem, we have a different book for that. But if it's narcissism and abuse, oh yeah. You want to know it and have a plan of action. Now, my books, my phone advice service, my podcast, my Ask Dr. Clarke videos, my Focus on the Family videos, all my resources are on my website, davideclarkephd.com. That's Clarke with an E, davideclarkephd.com. Okay, now, here are the top 12 entries in my contest. And again, this is the book you need to get if you're with an abusive spouse is Enough is Enough, How to Leave an Abusive Relationship. Now again, I said 10 initially, but there are 12 winners because we got so many great responses. In fact, the next couple of podcasts, I think at least we're going to do honorable mentions. But I'm going to read the winning responses right now, along with my pithy, snarky, mocking responses. Okay, that's what I'm known for. These 12 narcissistic words and actions that you're about to hear will help you and people you know realize that you're living with a narcissist. And if you are, get the book, Enough is Enough. And by definition, if you're living with a narcissist, you're living with an abuser. There are no narcissists that aren't abusive. Okay, here's the top 12, and these are not in any particular order. You might be married to a narcissist if he or she resents you having cancer and doesn't go to any of your treatments as it takes the focus off of him. Oh my goodness. How dare you have cancer and inconvenience him and take the spotlight off him? That's the great thing about cancer. It gets you a lot of attention. I mean, for heaven's sake. Yet, no question, that's a narcissist. Second, if you lose 30 pounds and get remarried, this is the narcissist talking to the wife. If you lose 30 pounds and get remarried, I would be devastated. Oh, give me a break. You know what? How you should respond is, if I lose any weight, it'll be from me, not you. And I'm not training for the Olympics. I don't need to be that fit. 30 pounds overweight, even if that's true, so what? If you continue to abuse me emotionally, prepare to be devastated. That's what you should say back to a guy like this. It's ridiculous. And you know what? And this lady knows this. You are never going to be fit enough for him. Oh, no way. Always some other woman that looks better than you in his crazy head, when the Bible says your wife is the most beautiful woman in the world. And you need to make her believe that every day. And you need to believe that. Here's the next one. Number 3, you might be married to a narcissist if he says, screaming, "You must obey me." Yeah, that would be a pretty good sign of narcissism. Of course he has to be obeyed. He's the king. He knows best. His word is law. He's never wrong. You're not even necessary. Your opinion, your feelings aren't important. What happened to loving your wife like Christ loved the church? That's what the Bible says. This guy's not reading the Bible. The husband is to be the servant leader. Here's the next one. You might be married to a narcissist. I like this one. If he or she, and it could be he or she, cheats and lies and then tries to justify the sin, because here it comes. Ready? The kings in the Bible had wives and concubines. This is said with a straight face. Well, that's ridiculous. Number 1, we're not living in Old Testament times, buddy or ma'am. Number 2, you are no king. Number 3, even back then, having wives and concubines was sin. God never approved of that. It was allowed, it was not approved. And it led to disastrous results every time. And finally, adultery is serious sin, and there is no justification for it no matter what. This person needs to get his stuff and get out of the home. And I tell ladies to tell the person, if he's actually found someone else, go to your skank. Oh, well, take your stuff and just go to her. She's available. She obviously loves you. You think you love her? Go to her right stinking now. Oh, well, she's married. She's got a family. Oh, too bad. You can ask your husband to move out. You're done with this guy, and you should be. Here's the next one. And these stories, they're awful. I'm making light in some ways just to kind of lower the intensity and help the narcissistic, the victim, but man alive. Listen to this. You might be married to a narcissist if he helped himself to $20,000 plus from his military son's bank account. Oh my goodness. Woo! The selfishness knows no bounds. This is it was for his own personal and business debts. And this guy, according to her, this husband has never acknowledged the wrongdoing. He's just justified it. Stealing money. Incredibly selfish. This is grand theft. This guy should be in prison. Any son, any daughter taking their money is ridiculous. In fact, I'm thinking of William, his grandpa, years ago had given each of the grandkids some money. In fact, the grandma too, Kermit and Jean Martin, had given each of them money for whatever they want, college, whatever, a car, whatever, years ago. And it was like, I think, I forget, it wasn't quite 10,000, but it was 7,000, 8,000 that William, who was our baby, he's 25 now, but he as he was growing up, we kept it in a special account because that was his money. Of course, it was never touched. This guy would have spent that money in a heartbeat. Okay, here's the next one. And this is a classic. You might be married to a narcissist if you ask him to stop treating you that way, the abusive way, and he tells you that no one will believe you if you said anything about his behavior because they know him one way outside of the house and wouldn't believe that he could ever be like that. Yeah, exactly right. We have the outside person, charming, reasonable, helpful, greatest guy in the world, people think. That's why they're so shocked when you leave him. Likeable. And then we have the inside person, the behind closed doors, the person at home, selfish, abusive, critical, nasty. One lady put it this way, a recent client. He charms the world and he treats you like crap. That's exactly right. You get nothing. The world gets everything. Here's the next winner. You might be married to a narcissist if he claims to have thrown the only set of keys to your vehicle in the lake behind your house. This guy's nuts, and disassembles your plugs just in case you happen to go diving and find the keys. Ridiculous. Then you find your keys a year later underneath the front porch. Then he accuses you of losing the keys because that is something you do quite often. That's called gaslighting. Oh my goodness, this guy's a nutball and a narcissist. Talk about massive control. Classic case of gaslighting. I say hide his keys, and when he asks where they are, say, I don't know. Check the lake. Check under the front porch. Honey, this is how dementia starts. We should get that checked out. I mean, come on. Two can play at this game. Next winner. And this is a particularly nasty one. And these people believe their own lies. This husband has told this wife that the reason all the men, and he knows her past and the pain she's been through, the reason all the men in your life, dad, stepdad, ex-husband, previous boyfriends, have rejected you and harmed you is you. You are the common denominator, he said. Oh, what a vicious monster. Evil is what that is. Hateful. This is a vicious and untrue attack. Of course, what he's saying is that you are at fault for all the problems in your marriage and all the sinful behavior he does. You know what? Get away from this guy. Here's one. You have 3 babies within 3 years and haven't had a single break. A date, a babysitter. And if you're a young mom, you know what she's talking about. No breaks. And the husband buys tickets to leave the state. In this case, it had to be a fishing trip, some kind of a special fishing trip with his friends because he needs a break. And without telling you, he sets it all up. Talk about narcissism. It's the mom that needs the break, not the dad. Try having a baby. Try giving birth. Try caring for those kids. Selfish pig. No compassion, no empathy, no conscience. They sleep at night, doesn't bother them. Don't you understand how hard life is for him? You tell him to leave on his trip and never come back. He can live somewhere else and have all the time in the world to fish. That's the right response. Here's the next winner. You might be married to a narcissist or in the process of a divorce if while you have spent 16 hours vomiting from extreme morning sickness with your fourth baby, and have 3 other kids to care for, your dear husband makes you go to the store and schlep home 40 pounds of dog food because he refuses to be inconvenienced to do it. Oh man, classic narcissism. Not just selfish, that's well beyond selfish. On the brief break from her vomiting, she was able to run to the store and get dog food because the dog was hungry. And why should he get the dog food? I'd serve him dog food for dinner. I'd literally have the dog food on his plate and give his dinner to the dog, and we'll see how he likes it. Here's the next winner. I believe this is number 11. You might be married to a narcissist if he or she tidies up the garage, listen to this, by organizing their stuff and taking all your stuff to the Salvation Army and the dump, and getting rid of it without checking with you first. Unbelievable. You know what? You never throw anything that belongs to your spouse out without checking. You might not like some of the stuff that your spouse has. Well, tough. That is a violation. And of course, all couched in, I'm helping you. I've cleaned our garage. Yeah, where's all my stuff? He knew exactly what he was doing. Mean, selfish. And then finally, number 12. And this was a wife who asked, here's how it works. She asked her husband a question. Her response, of course, is the answer. But she asked her husband, the narcissist, what is Jesus like? And she says she asked this after a conversation where I thought he was far from acting like the Jesus he professes. Okay, so what is Jesus like? Seemed like a pretty fair question. Maybe that'll get his attention, not this guy. The husband's response was, Jesus is a whole lot like me, honey. With a straight face. Whoa. Hey, buddy. Hey, narcissist, we are to be like Jesus. Jesus is not like us. Talk about a grandiose view of himself. Okay, well, those are the 12 winners. Now, there are many other tremendous responses, and the next 2 podcasts, I'm going to be dealing with those, giving the responses, and of course, my Now, if you believe these podcasts are making a difference, we ask you to, do the rating, the 5-star rating, the review, comment, certainly to subscribe to the podcast. All these things help us build our audience so we can help more and more people, those in abusive relationships, those in marital crisis, those in divorce recovery. That's what we do. And again, next time we're going to be looking at some honorable mentions in this contest, this narcissist contest. You might be married to a narcissist if. So until next time, davideclarkephd.com. That's not my name, that's my website. davideclarkephd.com is where all my resources are. I will see you, or you'll hear me if you just listen audio-wise next time.